that this feeling that something is wrong, but they don't know how to express it. And you could talk to so many people and they're like, something doesn't seem right about this. I think that's kind of part of why people think that people, well, just in general, they have like this whole conspiracy, everything's a conspiracy kind of thing. And they have that feeling because they know that something wrong is happening in the world, but they don't know how to express it.
So what is your feeling? Like what's going on that you have this certain feeling that you want to do something? This is why you started today recording. Like what's going on with you?
What's going on with me is that I've had this strong feeling that nothing sticks. Nothing stays long enough. Like I'll give you for like an example that applies clearly today. Remember the clowns?
Right.
The clown scares.
During Halloween.
It wasn't even just during Halloween. The clowns were popping up before Halloween, and all of a sudden the clowns just stopped popping up out of nowhere. It's no different than 2010, or it was 2010, when the birds started falling out of the sky.
Yes.
And you thought that somebody was going to follow up with that, and then there's nothing.
And then out of nowhere, there's no more clowns. Out of nowhere,
there's no more birds falling. There's no more clowns.
Do you think it's a distraction, or?
I don't know if it's a distraction. I just think there's not enough people paying attention to it. And when things start to happen where a lot of people aren't paying attention, you have to wonder why that is the case. Why there's no follow-up to these tragedies that happen. We'll go back to an example in terms of Flint, Michigan, with the water problem. It's like, unless you clearly follow up with the Flint, Michigan water problem, and the fact that these people still don't have clean water, you wouldn't know. You would have thought that everything's okay because the media doesn't talk about it anymore. So one of the biggest issues that I have is where we've fallen in terms of responsibility, accountability, and expectation. Mm-hmm. So some people, one of the major things that I hate in politics particularly is that discussion between who's a liberal and who's a conservative. Because of those labels, I think we've fallen so far off. And just like, hear me out in terms of this. It's like, for instance, this presidential election was such a joke when you're watching the debates, because you'd have one candidate be like, well, I did so-and-so. And then the other candidate would be like, well, what you did was wrong. And then that candidate was like, well, you allowed me to do it. So, okay. And that's kind of the problem that we have right now, is that you have one candidate saying that I did something wrong because you knew about it, and that makes it okay. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the issues that you fundamentally find every time you look at a YouTube comment or you look at a goddamn Facebook comment, is that there's this idea that, oh, well, if a liberal did it, then nobody would be complaining. Wrong is wrong no matter who does it. And it doesn't matter if you say you're a conservative or if you're a liberal. And thinking that just by pointing the finger or saying somebody else did the exact same thing, so it makes what you did okay, or it makes everything okay, is wrong, and it's stupid. That's just, that really is how it is. It's like if you were a parent and you went to your kid and your kid stole something from the candy store. You're not going to tell your kid comes to you and says, my friend did it. You're not going to be like, oh, well, that's totally okay because, oh, your friend did it, you should be able to do it. No, you would scold that kid. And we're at a place where we do not do that. Nobody is listening to the other side enough to make things actually happen. It's just not happening. So yeah. I'm disappointed. But I'm not surprised, because anybody who pays attention to history knows that it constantly repeats itself. Well, not necessarily repeats itself, but it definitely rhymes from time to time. And this is just another example of that. And people not paying attention, and if they are, it's just either willful ignorance, because I don't know how you have a good amount of the population, the American population, saying, hey, we're scared. We're scared that things are going to happen to us, and we're not going to be treated fairly. We're not going to be considered American citizens. And you have people who voted for this guy saying, well, shut up, you're just mad because you lost.